The objective of this video is to simplify a ratio of multivariate monomials. So taking a look at just the examples here, these are ratios because they're fractions. So we have numerator and denominator, and so that's what makes it a ratio. And we just want to go through and simplify it. And so just kind of using the basic properties of simplifying, we know that we can simplify the like terms. So the 8 and the 24 can be simplified. We have the b in the numerator, b in the denominator. So there's some similar things that we can kind of group together and simplify. Notice here we do have this division of expressions with like bases. This just says that if you are dividing exponents with the same base, you subtract those exponents. On these examples, that rule is not necessarily going to apply because notice all these exponents are just ones. And so that'll be something that we look at in a little bit more depth in a later video. So let's just kind of take a look at these. So starting out, one of the main things that we can do is we can break each property apart. And so what I mean by that is in this numerator here, this is the 8. It's being multiplied by the a, which is being multiplied by the b. And so just kind of separating each part out. In the denominator, we have 24 times b times c. And this just kind of helps me look at everything and kind of only apply the like terms with each other. And so here, with the variables, it works the same way as with integers. If you have anything that is common, anything divided by itself cancels itself out. So if you have a b in the numerator, it's going to cancel with the b in the denominator. You've got a variable a in the numerator, but there's not an a down here in the denominator to combine that with, so the a is just going to stay. And then the same thing here with the c. You've got a c in the denominator, but there's not a variable of c in the numerator, so there's not going to be any way to simplify that. But the b's are the same, so they cancel each other out. And then we just have to simplify the integers just like we would simplify anything else. And so we can see here that both of these are divisible by 8. So if I take the 8 and divide it by itself, it's going to reduce to 1. Of course, 24 divided by 8 is going to reduce that to 3. And then just want to clean it up and see what's left. And so all we have left in this numerator that didn't cancel out is there is a 1a. And so 1a left in the numerator. And then the denominator, all I have left is the 3 and the c, so I carry that over. And then just to be mathematically correct, we don't want to write 1a. We know that if we just write that as a, we know that there's a 1 coefficient there, so we can just kind of drop that 1 off, and that just simplifies down to a over 3c. Alright, so this one's going to work exactly the same way. I'm going to start by just kind of breaking it apart and looking at each part individually. So I have 12 times x times y times z in my numerator, and in my denominator there's a 32 times a y times a z. So doesn't matter which one you start with first. I'm going to start with just canceling anything that's alike, and so this y in the numerator cancels out with the y in the denominator. The z cancels out with the z because anything divided by itself is going to reduce to 1. Then I have this variable of x here. There's not an x in the denominator to combine that with, so we know that it's just going to stay. And then we can just take a look at these integers here and reduce those. And so you're just looking for a common term that divides into 12 and into 32. You're looking for the greatest common factor. And between 12 and 32, they are both divisible by 4. So you're going to take that top and that bottom number and divide by 4. And so 12 divided by 4 is going to reduce that to 3. 32 divided by 4 is going to reduce that to 8. And so 3 and 8 we know are simplified all the way down because obviously there's not another GCF between 3 and 8. And so just carrying over what's left, all I have left here in my numerator is a 3x. And then all we have left in our denominator is just an 8. So that simplifies down to just 3x over 8.